Yeah, Film Vaults. Welcome everyone to the Film Vaults. That's Anderson. I'm Bryan Bishop, your host for the big annual, huge Vaulty Award Show. Where's the applause sound effect?
Wait a minute.
Lost it.
Don't you usually come in with a yeah, Vaulties? Don't you usually do that?
Do I?
Yeah, I think you do.
No, let's try it again. Let's try that one again.
Keep all this.
No, we're keeping all this.
Cue me. Cue me. Yeah, Vaulties. That felt right. That felt right, honestly. Yeah, everyone, welcome to the Vaulties. We're your hosts, Bryan Bishop and Anderson. And yes, we'll be bringing you the top 5 or more movies
15.
of the year.
20. I think I have 30 of them pulled.
Do you have clips?
I have no clips. No.
Clips? Has that been done?
No Vaulty clips.
You know what I did this year more than any other year, though? We're not doing it yet, but maybe we'll be doing it next year. It's like I was taking note of like not my favorite movies, but like some of my favorite scenes in movies. Mm-hmm. You know, almost like different categories.
Yeah.
Got to tell you, my favorite comedic scene of the year came from a movie that's it's not on my list.
Okay.
Weird.
Number 5 for me. Weird.
The pool scene is something to behold.
Indeed, it is.
I absolutely love. You want to go over last year's Vaulties?
Oh, I don't have that.
Oh, you don't?
Come on, bro.
I mean, I feel like you can get it pretty easily, knowing you.
That's true, actually. Give me a second. We literally
Stroked his ego and you'll get what you want.
Ooh, that was look at this. Very esoteric last year. My list this year, I can tell you this, is way less esoteric. All right, so
I got my Vaulties.
last year, my Vaulties
I got 'em.
went a little something. Settle down. Went a little something like this. Number 10 was Gunda, black and white, a film about a pig. Day in the life of a pig. My goodness. The Last Duel was number 9, which I've heard friends of mine. They say that they watched it, did not understand it. Why it was good. It's great, right?
Loved it.
Number 8 for me was Old Henry. Fucked the ass with the Old Henry. Almost reinvented westerns there, Brian. Number 7 was Flea. Okay. God, that movie got me riled up. I was so emotional. Flea was fantastic. Remember Flea about the guy who had to flee? It was all done with animation.
Yeah, documentary, yeah.
It
was animated, right?
It was animated for to protect him. Number 6 was 9 Days, which was a movie that really made you think, Brian. A lot there to like. A lot there to like with the 9 Days. Number 5 was Sam and Maddie Make a Zombie Movie. This is a movie that still people have not seen. Sam and Maddie Make a Zombie Movie. It's a documentary about a couple kids with Down syndrome who are fortunate enough to raise some money and make a movie of their own and star in a movie, and it is absolutely delightful. I fucking love Sam and Maddie Make a Zombie Movie from 2021. Number 4 was a little movie called Licorice Pizza.
What was that?
Pure joy, that movie. Absolute and pure cinematic joy. Number 3 was Come On, Come On, which Brian finally caught up with a few months ago, right?
Sounds familiar. No,
What?
I never saw it.
Joaquin
That's
Phoenix?
the Phoenix. I never saw it.
Get the fuck out. Please leave.
We're in my house.
Will you please leave?
I will not.
And then I had kind of a tie at number 1. I still like, it depends on the day. But number 2 for me was The Beta Test. Jim Cummings, The Beta Test.
That's
My
right.
God, do I love that movie.
Let's keep talking.
You've seen it, yeah?
Yeah, I saw
There he is. There he
We're all
keep the
very
conversation
excited.
going.
The end, everything's just coming in. And his response is down in the parking lot. There she is. He just goes right
The
back
pause
into
before he does it is great.
Such a great study of just the filth and disgusting nature of the Hollywood agent. And then number 1 for me was Writers of Justice, which was just cinematic magic. It was beautiful. What a fucking movie, Writers of Justice.
I don't recognize my list, but I'll read it anyway. Number 5 was No Time to Die. No Time to Die. Number 4 was The Last Duel. Number 3 was...
I enjoyed that, but it should not be number 5.
Number 5, you know what? I stand by it.
Stand by it, yes.
Number 3 was Street Gang, How We Got to Sesame Street. Number 2 was
Good. It was a good also.
Coda. And number 1... You know what? I stand by
This is quite the list.
I must have been...
Impaired?
I wasn't feeling nostalgic at that. The Mitchells versus the Machines.
The Mitchells versus the Machines was your number 1.
Number 1 for the best film of the year. I don't know. I don't remember.
Hoping for better things this year.
There's 0 crossover?
No, he had
Last Duel's on.
Last
okay.
Duel on there.
Well, that was smart.
Wow.
I left off the Suicide Squad.
Time to time.
I was thinking about the Mitchells versus the Machines just there because it starts off with a really funny joke, which is a kid dies or something, right? Somebody dies, and don't they peel off like the sticker on the back of like kids like family minivans? They have like the families,
Oh yeah.
And-
It's a station wagon.
and so they're peeling it off, and she goes like, I always wondered what happened when one of the family members died, what they do with that, and that's from that movie, right?
I forgot about
It's
that.
the only good joke in the movie. So okay.
So stuck with you.
Jesus Christ, Bryan. It might not even be from that movie, but I give it credit. It was fine. That was the movie that, remember, I couldn't get my then 5-year-old to watch it with me. He's like, no, Daddy, I'm not watching that. I'm like, but Bryan says this good. He just cuts me off. He's like, no,
It is good.
I'm not
It's the
watching that.
best movie of the year.
I felt like such an asshole watching that thing in the middle of the night by myself, watching it. I did. It was good.
Do we have a listener top 5 for this episode?
We do.
Best
Oh, thank
movie.
God.
We have a listener top 10.
Oh,
So
Oh,
even the
smart.
listeners pulled their weight.
I'm the odd
as
man out.
As they should, Bryan.
Odd man. I'm the purist.
Not a purist. All right, so a couple
First things
stats.
first, and the purist.
Couple stats, real quick, and then let's get right into it. I saw 103 new movies, 103 movies from 2022 last year, which I think is kind of on par for what we usually do.
Pretty light.
A little light, yeah. And then I saw 217 movies total, so almost an even split of new releases and movies catching up from years past. And I have a number, I guess, like we've said, like it was a really solid year, a really deep draft year for very, very solid, good movies. And I have a lot of movies that will rattle off if you'll allow me to towards the end. Like I got like the top 30% because it was that good. It's like,
Sure.
we don't find ourselves going to the theater or actively seeking out movies that we've heard horrible things about or have no interest to watch to begin with because of the people behind them. So pretty much every time we sit down to watch a movie, unless it's one of those giant tentpole franchise movies that we kind of have to see, usually we're going after movies that we have big hopes for. So.
True, but those include the tentpole movies.
Well, a lot of the time, like we have to see those because that's we're a movie show, and I didn't do that though. I should have broken it down like with my list of the 103 new releases. How many of those were sequels or franchise films? And I would imagine probably about half. Yeah.
Sadly.
I did not realize that adapted screenplay counts for when it's a sequel. It becomes adapted.
Because the character is already established.
It's so odd to me. It's
Is
in
it?
the same
Yeah.
category as adapting an article is The Dark Knight.
Yeah.
That's so strange to me.
Or a celebrated novel or
Yeah.
stage play.
It's very weird.
But it could be, that is,
That happened this
I
year.
didn't know
That
that.
happened twice this year.
I did
yeah.
not know that. Yeah. I don't pay much attention to the old Oscars.
Because I'll look it up.
Speaking of the Oscars, though, I'm kind of a dick when it comes to them.
That's true. You could've
There's
stopped it.
a lot wrong with the Oscars. I have a lot of problems. But looking at them, especially with what's happened over the last 10 years or so with, so many franchise and tentpole movies and remakes, and people always blame Hollywood for not having any fresh ideas. And I don't think that that's true.
Okay.
I think that it's the audience, which is the problem because they continue to respond to these. I'm not talking about Marvel necessarily, even though I'm partially here, but people respond to things that they're already familiar with. They don't want to do the heavy lifting. And most people aren't film nerds like we are, so they don't know who directed or.
I really appreciate you including me in film notes.
I was talking to Avery and I.
Oh, shit.
But so the studio execs who make the decisions, who are looking to make money, which I mean, none of this exists if they don't make money. they know like it's good to put the money where it's already bankable, and they know that what they're going to get because if you do Spider-Man 7, people are going to show up because they showed up for 6, right? So, but when you got the Oscars over there, for the most part, it's all original stuff. It's all new stuff, new stories, new
For the
characters,
most part.
right?
Yeah.
For the most part.
Some notable exceptions: Top Gun, Avatar, etc.
Yeah, so the adapted screenplays, there's women talking and all quiet, which makes sense.
Yeah.
And there's also Top Gun Maverick and Knives Out Glass Onion
Yeah,
for
sequels.
adapted, which
Yeah.
feels odd to me.
That is odd.
Feels like they shouldn't. I get on the technicality, but it seems like that violates the spirit of the law.
Yeah, because it's characters that exist, but it's new material that they're existing in.
Yeah, it seems odd.
But if you have to build a character from scratch, that goes in the original screenplay bucket, right?
Right. Yeah. I mean,
Because you're kind of cheating with a sequel. You know the characters, you love the characters.
you know the universe, you know the
Yeah.
world. Yeah. All right. But this year I don't have any tent pole, and there's some great tent pole stuff, and there's some really good stuff. Honestly, part of it, and I'll admit this, is just my brain just kind of puts it in. Like if I'm seeing, we'll use Quantum Mania, which isn't the greatest example because people didn't love it, but we'll use Thor, okay?
Right.
Which that's not a great example because people didn't love that, even though I enjoyed it.
The Eternals.
No, that doesn't really work. Even though I enjoyed that one as well. But like I see
Doctor Strange Multiverse of Madness.
Let's do that. Yeah, okay. Sam Raimi's Multiverse, which you watch that, and if that existed on its own, and I'd never seen any of that shit before, I'd be like, holy wow.
That was really inventive.
Kind of like how we were with Valerian, right?
Yeah.
We love Valerian because it was all new shit. Now, if Valerian 7 comes out, and it's like more of the same new shit, but it's not new anymore, like, I don't know if it's going to stand alone on my list.
All right.
Does that make sense?
Yes.
You know what I'm saying?
I do know what you're saying. It does make sense.
Okay. It doesn't make sense?
It does make sense.
Okay.
What movie did you allude to when you were talking about scenes that you loved?
Oh, Weird.
Number 5 for me is Weird, the Weird Al Yankovic story.
Seriously?
Yes, it is.
Bryan?
I love that movie.
Did you stop watching after the second act?
Stop it. I enjoyed it very much. It's not a perfect film, but you know what? All my films are fun.
Oh,
this
yeah.
year.
Yeah,
Forgot.
Fun.
You didn't preface with that.
Directed by Eric Apple in his feature debut. Talked about Weird, the
It's
Al
a Pell.
Yankovic story.
It's a Pell.
Is it really?
I have no idea.
Okay. Eric Appel, perhaps.
I'd like to correct you.
Shut out of the Oscars cruelly, meanly. Shut out of the Oscars. But for my money, the 5th best movie of the year. Fun movie. I enjoyed
Meanly,
it.
cruelly. It should have been up for best.
Oh, screenplay for sure. Actor.
I can't believe you're doing bits for the Vaulties.
This
You're doing
not-
shtick.
Well, it's less a bit, and I actually really enjoyed the movie. It's a fun romp. You enjoyed it. Don't pretend like you did.
It's truth wrapped in shtick.
Yeah, don't pretend
I'm
like
looking
you.
at my number 10 and the juxtaposition, the compare and contrast.
Let's hear your number 10.
My number 10 is it's a foreign language film. International.
Is it Viet?
It's The Innocents, Brian. The Innocents, which blew me away and would be much higher on my list if I felt like they maximized what they had built, but they didn't because I think they peaked too early in the structure of the script. I love this fucking movie. So this movie is about little kids being assholes, being dicks, being mean to one another. It's a Swedish film, and it's primarily a little girl who moves into a new, like it's almost like The Projects, and she's got an older sister who's autistic, who's nonverbal autistic, and this little girl, her little sister meets a little boy in the projects, and the little boy in the projects is a real piece of work, and he's somewhat evil and somewhat of a sociopath and doesn't have much empathy for others. And the little sister is starting to pick up on some of these things and starts with hurting a cat, and then she just inexplicably takes some glass and hurts her older sister with it. But then the little sister starts to see the errors of her ways, and turns out there's some super normal activity, unexplainable activity, telekinesis, and the ability to move objects and whatnot. So some of these kids have, some don't, and that comes into play.
Okay.
And the autistic older sister definitely comes into play. This movie brought tears to my eyes. It gave me. I watched this while I was out of town with my wife and my young boy, and they were sleeping. I was watching in a hotel room, and I cheered. Very late at night in Iceland.
You pumped your fist.
I did. And I said, yes, like that. And it upset my wife very, very much. I heard about it the next day. She's like, what were you doing? I'm like, I was watching a movie and there was a fucking moment in there that was so exciting. I was so happy. So The Innocents moved me, Brian. I just wish that moment that happened in the reveal was a little bit later. I just didn't really love it. It's like one of those, it's like,
are you saying if it was a little better, you'd like it more?
Yeah, but it's so good. It's on my top 10 of the movies I saw. I was texting Florence, our very own Florence, letting her know, you need to watch The Innocents, I think, as a horror fan. There's definitely horror elements in this movie. The Innocents is a fantastic movie. I absolutely love it. If you like Chronicle, Scanners, Twilight Zone, Firestarter, any Stephen King movie, pretty much. And it's all about Anna and her little sister. And yeah. All right. And number 9 for me is Funny Pages. Funny Pages.
See, it's a feel-good movie.
Did you watch Funny Pages?
Yeah, we watched it together.
Okay, yeah. So always subvert expectations.
He's an aspiring comic writer.
Always subvert expectations. Yeah, it's in the same wheelhouse as Color Wheel, a Salons movie. If you like Crumb, American Splendor, any of that, it's about a cartoon artist, a young would-be cartoon artist, and his way through life in the 90s and his coming up, and it looks through a particular window into a life, and it's got some really laugh out loud funny moments. It opens up with a fucking bang, and there's just people eating throughout the entire movie.
That is true.
It's heartfelt yet grimy and gross, but the kid at the center of it, he's a teenage kid who's just trying to become a graphic novelist, essentially, like an artist, right? A comic strip artist,
Indeed.
Alt artist, underground comic artist. That's what his main goal is. It's almost like the band's gonna make it, and we're just watching him along his way, and he meets somebody who he thinks could possibly be a hero, but might be a false hero, and it's just a fantastic movie, and it looks unlike any other movie that came out last year.
I think I wrote down in my notes, it's a series of bizarre interactions with bizarre people.
But they're all entertaining, and for the most part, pay off.
But he himself, the main character, is very grounded.
Yeah.
Very normal. Everyone he meets is a weirdo.
The fact that he's drawn to them makes him not quite.
That's a good
normal.
point. That's
It
a good
reminded me of young Mike Carano. That's another reason why I might have liked it so much, because I absolutely love my friend Mike Carano, and he reminded me a lot of a young Mike Carano.
I can see that.
I hadn't Carano watched Funny Pages. He also very much enjoyed it.
No. Saw all of himself in there.
All right, so that's my number 10 and number 9. I highly recommend that to certain segments of people, right? As my buddy Eric Holmes would say, those are 5-star bangers for a couple people. Might be 3-star bangers like across the board, though. You know what I mean?
Sure.
Gotta be careful.
Well, I was above market on my number 4. I like it more than most people, I think. Number 4 for me is a dark, enjoyable, fun movie. The Menu. The Menu is a number 4 film.
You enjoyed that even after The Mess?
What do you mean?
I would feel like The Mess would kind of be the cutoff for you. And you'd
The
be like,
Mess.
oh, that's one of the dishes.
Oh, sorry. Yes, yeah. I thought you were alluding
Chef
to
Jeremy's The Mess.
Triangle of Sadness.
Yeah.
Like The Mess.
I thought you would be like, at that point, and it's no longer really enjoyable.
I wasn't enjoying it for the culinary aspects exclusively. I guess I kind of was, but just a fun take on skewering the elite, but also sympathetic, at the same time, to the Nick Holt character and the Anna Taylor-Joy character especially, and also to the Ray Fiennes character.
Do you want my life, Jeremy?
He said horrible things to him.
I wish this one landed for me. Like, it landed for so many people. So many people really liked where it went, and I was annoyed.
I think I also had this on as number 4 for me.
Yeah,
I loved The Menu.
Yeah, I remember hearing you talk to somebody
enjoyed it.
about how you enjoyed
Really
the
enjoyed
reactions and the motivation for certain characters. We're dancing around things.
I've recommended it to a few people, and they haven't liked it as much as me.
Really? I watched it with my buddies. They loved it. Then they're big foodies, so I don't know if that helps, if that hurts, if you got to be into the
I loved all that stuff.
chef's table kind of.
It was the chef's behavior and reactions and actions that ultimately left me upset.
I enjoyed it. Bought in.
It would have been too much for him if he was way over the top, though. I like the restrained.
No, I'm not talking about that. I'm talking
Oh.
about
He didn't buy the ending.
ultimately.
Oh, interesting. Well, I disagree.
I know. I wish that I agreed with you. I really do.
All right, what's number 8?
Oh, wow. Trucking. All right.
We got-
Number 8 for me.
We got a
is-
lot to do.
I think he saw Holy Spider.
No, it's Holy Spider.
You didn't see Holy Spider.
Holy Spider.
Bray. This is based on a true story about a serial killer in Iran in the 80s, and
This sounds familiar.
it's brutal. So it's not going to make your list. A wrenching, human. It's satisfying.
It's not fun.
It's very, very human. It's satisfying at times and beyond frustrating at others. Not because of the filmmaking, but because of the story, what's going on. And it's about this woman who goes in to investigate in Tehran, I think it is. Tehran, that she goes into. And she's a no-nonsense reporter, a journalist who's looking for the truth, and she runs into it, with all these fucking chauvinistic, machismo Iranian dudes of the time who just don't give her the time of day. They don't like she's not wearing a scarf, and she's just trying to find out who this Holy Spider is.
Quick correction.
He's been dubbed.
On this, on the description here on Just Watch, it says the holy city of Mashhad.
Mashhad, yes. Thank you. And it's been a number of months since I read this, and I didn't put that down in my. I didn't put the rote stuff in my notes. Just my own notes. So the serial killer is targeting sex workers, as they're called. There's actually a scene with one of these sex workers where there was actual oral being shown, and I think that the filmmaker, she did that purposely just to kind of show, like, it's real easy to just say, oh yeah, it's a hooker, she's a prostitute. What do you expect, and you just think, oh yeah, she gets paid for sex. When you see what they actually do with these disgusting fucking dudes, some of them, right? So I'm sure that they get, the looker every now and again who pays them, but
majority.
And you see that she has to like put her mouth, and it's not gratuitous. It's in a car, but it's kind of like a shot. It's dark, but you can see that it's actually happening. It's like, holy shit. And then you get
artful oral.
Artful oral. Yeah. Kind of like Brown Bunny. And you get the idea. Like
precisely.
And then they have to put up with this fucking maniac who's like slaughtering them in the name of, religion. And it's one of the most satisfying endings of a movie I saw last year. Might be the most satisfying ending to any movie I saw last year. Holy Spider was holy shit good.
All right. I didn't see it.
You should have. You really should have.
Not enough fun.
If only assigned it to me. Not fun at all, it sounds like.
The spider killer. That's what he was. And then number, where are we at there?
7.
That'd be number 7. This is one that will not make your list, but the Academy agrees with me. All Quiet on the Western Front was something to behold. All Quiet on the Western Front. It's easy to just cast it off as another war film, but like the war movies,
it's excellent.
It really is excellent. And
it was just missed making my list, but also ran for sure.
There was a scene in there that will forever stick with me, and I've seen my fair share of war films. I've seen a lot of them, and I've never seen anything like this, and I feel like it was one of the most honest things. And it happened in the crater, and it was one-on-one. And if you've seen the movie, you know what I'm talking about. And it involves
intense.
It involves destroy, rebuild, destroy, rebuild, destroy. And it's something I would absolutely do, I think, if I was stuck in battle.
It's you at the B.
It is me, right? That's something I would do.
That's it. That's for Private First Class Anderson.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And that and the tanks, there's so much in this movie that will stick with me. That scene in particular, and what's most interesting about All Quiet, what's the worst part about All Quiet is the opening scene. It was just, I talked about it, but it did not ring true. And it turns out
with the literally the opening with
the young kids all like singing and going off to war and being all pumped up.
Oh, that makes sense.
Evidently, no, it doesn't. We've had this discussion on this show, but at that point in the war. 2 years in, people were very disillusioned and people weren't signing up readily and they weren't excited to go to war. So the atrocities of war had kind of been brought to
they kind of shoehorned it to still give you that feeling because it did happen at the beginning, but
it didn't happen at this time in the war. So it felt like
they just needed that transition for the character.
I think they wanted
it artificially
for the 180. That would happen ultimately by the end of the movie. But the last act of this movie is by far the most tense white knuckle ride that you're going to get throughout the entire movie, throughout all movies that came out last year.
I think that's where it lost me. I was so mad about part of the ending.
Because
about
you're
what
angry
happens to one of the characters, where I thought that was so fucking stupid.
But that's the whole point. That's the whole point.
War is hell.
Yeah.
War is hell, but it's like who creates this war, right? It's the first. It was the first.
Answer that. It's the Germans.
It was the first widely published, if not the first actual published like anti-war book of its time. Because back
that could be true
for the longest time, it was like everything about war was like
glorified.
Yeah. All right, so that's number 7 for me.
All right. Number 3 for me, maybe on your list. I expect it to be on your list, so we can talk about it now or save it. But number 3, let's see if I can get this title right. Rudra Rana Rudhiram. Better known as RRR to our audience. RRR 2022 film written and directed by SS Raja. Fuck, why do I do this to myself? Rajamouli? Is that on your list?
RRR?
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll be talking
about that later?
Yeah.
Okay. Fun movie.
It is fun at times. At times there's torture.
Yeah, but even the torture's fun because they get their comeuppance.
And there's a song and dance to it.
That's right. And there's a song and dance.
How many, what I love is this movie is breaking through in a minimal way. And I do think you sent us that article that the viewership of the Oscars went up by 12% this year.
Yeah.
That's not because of Jimmy Kimmel. I mean, I love Jimmy Kimmel as much as the next guy. I do think that a lot of that has to do with RRR.
And I think the Will Smith slap. I think people wanted to see what was going to happen.
If he was gonna
post
be
that.
there.
No, I think people wanted to hear how they addressed it.
Yeah, how they exactly.
Oh, they addressed it like everyone knew they would. A couple sly jokes here and there.
I'll add a third reason, and it's the data proves it. When you include more popular movies, the viewership goes up. The year the Titanic one was a huge year. The year the Lord of the Rings one was a huge year.
So what's the popular movie? Is it Everything Everywhere All at Once?
It's in
Is that
Top
the one?
Gun and Avatar.
Oh yeah, and Top Gun, Avatar, and the old
Movies made $2 billion between them.
and Wakanda Forever.
Yeah, true.
Yeah. Huh.
And Elvis to a lower extent.
Yeah. I don't
And
remember
women
what-
talking.
Oh yeah, women
What's that?
talking. You almost forgot.
So we'll talk more about RR in a little bit, but that's number 3 on my list.
Makes sense. Okay. So here we go.
Yeah, 6 and 5.
We're taking a break here.
We
Bringing it
can't.
up.
We can't. Coming up next, we'll have
You can
presenters
play it off, Brian.
Matt Damon and Leonardo DiCaprio. Sorry,
Stop
doing
it.
bits. Doing
Do not
bits.
do other people's bits. It makes me uncomfortable.
How is that another person's bit?
Matt Damon, I'm sorry. We didn't get time.
Oh,
we didn't
no,
have time.
no, I-
Brian.
Okay, that was coincidence. I was saying coming up like the Oscars. Coming up, appearances from
Yeah.
friend of the show, John Cho.
Yeah, Joe was on the old Oscars, and my buddy Mickey clip from
That was pretty cool.
Top Gun. I called him and I talked to him. He didn't answer when I called him on the show because he was at a party. But I called him after on the way home, and he didn't even see it. He didn't even know. And his reaction,
Oh, no.
I'm like, dude, a thing that you shot on your fucking phone was part of the opening montage of the Oscars.
What are the chances?
And he's like, oh, really? Cool. He didn't care.
He just got married. He's in the honeymoon stage.
He's trying to act cool is what he's doing. All right, we need more.
We missed the post.
Swell the music. Swell the music. We'll
Post
do
is
all,
gone.
all that and more after this. Time to go over the interesting and notable purchases on the Amazon banner. The Amazon banner that sits top AndersonandBryan.com. It's a button, it's banner, it's all those things. If you're going to do your shopping on Amazon, you want to help the show and not spend an extra penny, this is the way to do it. Tap the link and buy whatever you're going to buy, and we get a little bit on the back end. Works out for everyone.
Especially Bezos.
More for him than us, honestly.
Well, I guess if you click through, you're actually kind of taking a couple pennies away from Bezos and giving them to us. So,
That's true.
Yeah.
Ooh,
Fuck Bezos.
nice.
How about that?
Take the money out of his pocket.
How do you think they're going to now block us because I said
Yeah,
that?
because you said that.
Oh, no.
Cut that out.
I support bases.
All right, we're back on.
Our bald leader.
Jeffrey Bezos. You did it. Congratulations. No?
This is what Gio's talking about. in his
Let me
email.
ask you a question about something.
My 4-year-old was singing that because I was listening to it
That's
so
incredible.
much.
Someone got a neon sign for the wall, like wall art, that is a neon sign that lights up and says pizza. Now, is that for a business? Is that someone who loves pizza?
They probably
or is
have a-
that someone who has like a pizza oven in the
Yeah,
backyard?
that's what
For
I'm
the
thinking.
man cave.
But can you put a neon sign outside?
Yeah, like an outlet.
No, but I mean, does it work in the rain?
Businesses do it all the time.
Outside?
Right?
It just gets hit with rain? Usually
Yeah, like
behind
the one-
windows,
like the ones
storefronts.
that are like the vertical signs that are like, say, bar.
Oh, like the big ones that are outside. Yeah, you're right. Like all those Vegas signs from the 60s and 70s. 50s,
I would say most
40s.
neon signs are outside.
All of Fremont Street? Holy shit. I'm a dumb. Yeah. Okay. All right.
Okay. All the things purchased on the Amazon link include someone got themselves a circulating cold water therapy ice machine. That's actually probably a very good thing to have at home, just in case. Just in case. 2, $70 Nintendo eShop gift cards. 3, Carhartt men's rugged flex pants. Pairs of pants, I assume. Be odd number for 3. Newer 5-in-1 magnetic lens filter kit. New, it's Newer, Neewer. Brand name, I suppose.
You said it correct.
Newer. New Magpul rifle bipod gun rest. Apple AirPods 2nd generation were picked up. Someone got 2, makes sense. 2 Weider 40-pound cast iron dumbbells. I guess
Because they
you
have
get-
2 arms.
I guess you can get away with one.
You know
but,
who's that? Who probably doesn't have that?
Who's that?
Jeremy Renner.
Oh, no. Rest in peace.
No, because he has one leg. But it's not true.
Boise X9 multi-use print and copy paper. Cardia mobile EKG monitor. Wow, that's, good luck with testing your heart. McCafe premium roast K-Cup pods. Makes sense that McDonald's would co-brand with Keurig to make K-Cups. PlayStation DualSense wireless controller was purchased. Someone got themselves, ooh, it was nice, Hibent rainfall shower head. Do you like the rainfall shower heads, or do you like the ones at higher pressure?
I like the high pressure.
Same.
Yeah, wand. You got to get that wand.
Yeah, you got to be the doctor.
Especially if you have a kid and you got to help them.
That's right. They're down on the ground. You got to spray them off. It's a whole thing.
On the ground.
Well, I mean, they're low to the ground.
Oh, that's
That's the
true.
sits in the shower.
It's bizarre, bro.
It
You
is
should
bizarre.
cut that. You should make that stop now.
Philips Norelco one blade electric trimmer, filtered by air filter, 2-pack. Spices, their histories, valuable information for grocers, leather bound book, PetSmart $50 gift card, what the fuck is this? EO PCs, electric blanket, DIY ASY Easter gift bags, Purina One natural sensitive stomach dog food. Dogs with sensitive stomach. And
Dogs are such pabs these days.
NoCo protection case for ultra safe jump starters, Ironland zipper pouches, and finally, someone got themselves a Roku streaming stick plus.
You know what they saw? Well, actually, if they just got it, they didn't see this unless they had a Roku before. But all summer or like all fall long, we saw Weird every time we'd open our
I know,
Roku.
a
It was
Roku.
just- how great advertising is that? Like it's just
Seriously.
one click away.
Right there. Hey, tap here.
How many movies had that kind of like easy access? All
That's probably
Season long.
probably the only one.
here are the movies that were clicked through. This is the last time I talked to you. Two people, not one, but two people clicked through and got the Fablemans. Thank you for doing that. Two people got Women Talking. Two people got Triangle of Sadness. All sorts of people catching up with last year's big movies. Somebody clicked through and got Boogie Nights, as well as Saving Private Ryan, another Spieley movie there. We got the T2, Train Spotting 2. They call it T2? They call it Train Spotting 2?
I guess that's
T2?
the abbreviation.
That's confusing for people who are looking for Terminator 2. Somebody else got Saving Private Ryan, unless Bryan copy and pasted by mistake. We got The Castle in the Sky, English language. We also got My Neighbor Totoro, which you and I will be watching very, very soon. Somebody clicked through and got Dig, which I was going on and on about as one of my favorite
the exclamation
music
point,
documentaries from a couple weeks ago. I was talking about that. It's really that and The Devil and Daniel Donster, my two favorite music docs.
Really?
And you've seen one.
I gotta catch up.
You got to talk into your mics. We
Dig.
The Purge election year was clicked through, as well as Mad God. Fuck to the yes. You know what? Phenomenal movie, that Mad God. Would not make Brian's list because it's not enjoyable.
No.
It's very difficult. You watch it. You did not watch Mad God.
It's not fun.
You did not watch Mad God.
Is it not?
You did not watch it, so do not comment on it then.
It's not fun.
Living was clicked through, as well as Close, Soft, and Quiet. Fuck the yes. Unicorn Wars, Valerie and her Week of Wonders, and Puss in Boots, The Last Wish. All clicked through. Unicorn Wars. My buddy Bruce told me that I need to watch Unicorn Wars, and I saw the year. I saw the year was 2023, and I said, "Fuck that shit."
That's all it takes of the year.
Well, because I'm still doing
Oh, I see.
2022
You're still
until this
playing
week.
catch up, yeah.
You know what I mean?
Now your dance card's open.
Oh, I know. Come on, Unicorn Wars. Let's go. Back to the program.
We're back, and it's time for my number two. And my number two, I bring to you, Anderson, the movie that I'm flickfessing this week on my top five.
All right, I'm excited about this.
You really should be.
This is a Cinema Dicks move over here.
Yeah,
It really is.
Well, in a sense, because I saw this maybe a couple of months ago, loved it.
Wait.
What?
Why?
Because you hadn't seen it. It's always better when we can do it together.
Well, you're doing it right now.
I know. My hands forced because I have to do it. I can't just
Because you haven't been
rush
able to assign me a movie. Well, if you're
Exactly.
a real friend, you'd be like, "Hey, I saw this movie. I absolutely loved it."
back. Well, you're going to feel foolish because I and many people have told you to watch Puss in Boots. Puss in Boots is so good. Don't get up. Don't get up. Sit down and listen. You have to pay attention to how good Puss in Boots is. Don't leave. Get back here. Puss in Boots is a 2022 film directed by Joel Crawford, starring the voice talents of Antonio Banderas, Selma Hayek, Harvey Guillen, Florence Pugh. Your beloved Florence Pugh is in this. Olivia Colman, Ray Winstone, Samson Kayo, Wagner Moura, and John Mulaney. 95% on Rotten Tomatoes. You hear that? Hear that? 95.
It's got a ring to it.
19 out of 20. It's easy, buddy. 95% of Rotten Tomatoes. You can stream this on Peacock.
19
Anderson.
out of 20.
That's right. Good news. streaming on Peacock, nominated for Best Animated Film. Screenplay, I need to mention this. The screenplay by Paul Fisher and Tommy Swerdlow is a triumph, an absolute triumph. This should have been up for Best Adapted Screenplay, in my very humble opinion. How many people have told you to watch this?
Like 3, maybe.
Yeah, well, you're hurting all of our feelings.
I'm going to give a little sneak peek to next year's Vaulties.
Okay.
Bryan reading his list
That happens every year.
from this year.
Yep. I'm going to
Which
feel
will be
foolish
last
about
year?
this?
Oh, absolutely.
No.
Yes.
I saw that. I saw
Bryan.
this for a second time last week with Tessa and Christy, who had not seen it.
Bryan, can you not remove yourself from the actual
And the whole time
surrounding?
I'm like, this fucking movie slaps. I love this movie. It's so fun. I will give you a little heads up. So first of all,
It is bad.
Hold on, let me text my wife and ask her to please cancel Peacock so I have an excuse to continue my streak.
That's foolish.
Not
You
watching
shouldn't do that.
this fucking sequel.
There's any number of
I'm
ways.
sure it's way better than it should be, Bryan. Like Paddington 2 Paddington 1 was way better than it needed to be. It doesn't mean that it's faulty level, Bryan.
Number two.
My second favorite movie of the year.
And we all know what the number 1's going to be.
But first of all, it's fun. So I'm prepared. I'm emotionally preparing myself all day for the backlash for when you finally see it and you're like, yeah, wasn't that good? It was okay.
Oh,
a couple laughs here and there.
I can't do that.
You always do that.
I do
That's
not.
your move.
When it's real, when it's honest. Bryan, if I love a movie and you
Anderson,
fucking assign it to me, there's nothing I can do.
You're not self-aware enough to realize that you're
I'm
doing it to
100%
yourself.
self-aware.
Yes, you believe it because you poisoned yourself.
You're not self-aware enough to not realize that like you're putting this movie on a pedestal when
This
you
is
watch
great.
all these goddamn movies and your enjoyment level goes up when you're watching your little 6-year-old daughter
No,
enjoy it.
no,
Absolutely,
no.
100%.
Far
You're
from
like,
it.
I feel so warm and tingly inside because I'm having family time and my child is liking what I'm liking and we're laughing at the same things and I'm talking like a leprechaun. I don't know why.
Number 1 is Mummies.
Don't do that because not enough people listen to After Disaster to really get that joke.
I enjoyed it. That's for the people at the stable.
Listen, hey, you ready for this? Listen to me. This takes a minute to get going. It's got a great opening. It's got kind of a so-so sequence where there's like the Puss in Boots decides to quit being Puss in Boots and goes to live in this cat sanctuary, and it's kind of whatever. And then Goldilocks and Three Bears shows up, and then Jack Horner shows up. This movie has 2
Would this be up for best original or best adapted?
adapted.
Because
It's
it's
a
a
sequel to
sequel.
Puss in Boots.
What if it wasn't? Because
I think because it involves
in there.
characters who are brought
From
in
Shrek.
from other source material. That said, this movie has not 1 but 2 fantastic villains. 2 of the best animated villains since maybe Lord Business. Like this movie is tremendous. It's so much fun. Jack Horner, voiced by John Mulaney, is tremendous.
Okay. The Vaulties are the best movies, not the most fun movies. So you're almost doing like an alternate list.
No,
right?
this is I enjoyed this movie tremendously.
But I mean, that's the Vaulties are like the movies that like make you're forcing me into this corner, which I don't feel comfortable in.
Okay.
But it's going to make me sound and feel douchey saying these words. But like movies need to like be like
Oh, no,
kind of
don't do
change.
it, don't do it,
Kind of
don't
change
do
the
it.
way you see the world a little bit. You know what I
That's
mean?
what this movie did.
It didn't though. I don't think it did. I think it tickled your fucking fancy. It made you feel happy and pass the time.
It's only maybe a half notch below like the Lego movie. And I say that with a straight face.
All right. I mean, okay. But number 2?
It's great. Hey, you know what else? And I'm gonna blow your mind and maybe upset you, but you can't argue because you haven't seen it. It's got the best this year, the best iteration of a Jiminy Cricket character in any film this year.
That says something.
That really says something because there is a character named Ethical Bug. Who's like a Jimmy Stewart. Oh, you can't do that. Oh, and like he's on the shoulder of Jack Horner, who's the villain. And at one point, the bug says, "I don't think you value human life." It's so good.
That did sound enjoyable.
So good.
Now,
Ethical
if
Bug.
you like it this much, shouldn't you be watching the first?
I heard the first wasn't anything special.
I heard it was good.
Yeah, same.
Don't you want more of the? Don't you want more?
This is a whole new creative team.
I can't. I don't know if I like to stand on because my number 1, the director has made other movies, but I've also heard they're hard to watch. So I have not. So I can't really fault you on that. However, I can fault you on it because of me.
Perhaps I will go back and catch up on it someday, but I can say to you, with all honesty and sincerity, please watch this movie, Anderson. You will enjoy it through gritted teeth at certain points. You're going to give in.
I'm not going to. Brian, look, dude, I think my number one was Into the Spider-Verse a couple years ago. I absolutely loved it.
Yeah, but I wasn't proselytizing for Into the Spider-Verse.
It's not because of you, even though it is partially because of you. But now, if it's good enough, it'll break through. All right. In spite of that, if it's good enough. Okay.
So that you're already setting it up. Like, if it was good enough, it'll break through my preconceived notions.
Well, the problem is, like, especially when I see your face and you're talking about certain scenes you like, and then I'm going to watch those scenes and I picture you laughing at them and enjoying them, and it kind of does take away a little bit.
There's also a truly terrifying villain. Like, I don't know if I'd watch it with Atticus.
You treat Bryan the same way Tarantino sours his own films in your mind, or you imagine Tarantino directing as you're watching.
I do that. Or like just, movies that think they're funny, and I can just picture like the cast, like and the crew laughing off screen.
Oh, how about the writer as they're writing and laughing and typing?
That's you,
no,
Bryan.
How dare you?
Just like late last week, you admitted to your wife asking if you're okay while you're writing up Better with Bean.
That is true.
She audibly asked you if you were all right.
You know what? You got me. You keep me honest over there. Please see Puss in Boots.
I'm gonna see it, buddy. Here's the funny part. I already promised Atticus a movie this weekend. He's just finally starting to get into movies. All right. He's got a lot of me in him, and he knows that I love movies. So I think he's kind of been a little bit, like, I'm not gonna like movies. You know what I mean?
So you're in the weird position now to pump this one up to him. Like, Atticus, you're gonna love it.
No, I can't do that.
Uncle Bryan thought it's awesome.
No. But he's starting to come around. He's starting to want to watch movies. However, I already promised to watch one with him this weekend. I'm shooting a wedding this weekend, so I got stuff to do. The only wedding I'm going to probably ever shoot in my life, other than Logan's sister's, which I did years ago. But when I get back from the wedding on Sunday,
why not more weddings?
It's not a wedding. They are, but I'm just not a wedding shooter. I do it. It's going to be a great time. It's with a listener. And we can do it.
I was going to say, you sound enthused.
I can't wait. I really cannot wait. We've talked to the couple number of times. It's going to be fantastic. Mike and I. It doesn't matter. That's not what I'm talking about. What I'm talking about is when I get back Sunday, I'll be watching Teen Wolf with Atticus.
Oh wow!
He's very excited to watch Teen Wolf,
the original.
How do you explain the scene in the closet with the girl?
We'll get there when we get.
Okay.
All right.
Daddy, why did he tear his shirt?
He's asking me all the right questions already because he's fascinated. Obviously, someone's talking about this at school, and he's like, I don't understand because if he becomes a wolf, I wouldn't imagine I don't think that would make him a better basketball player because wolves want to be good. I'm like, yeah, but
Atticus, you're very right.
But he's a werewolf, buddy, so he's half human. He's like, yeah, but wouldn't he just want to kill people? I'm like, okay, well,
he killed with dunks.
Well, I don't remember why he kills with dunks. All right, number 6 for me is The Northman. The Northman is my number 6 favorite movie. Are we going to hear your favorite movies?
Yeah, yes.
Okay, good, Avery. The Northman, I have no notes. I've seen it twice. I have no notes. It's when my dog, my little very old senior dog drowned earlier last year. Sydney, I love her, and I still think about her and get sad every single day, and I probably will forever. Like, this is not a lie at all. When she died, December, I don't want to be like one of those douchebags that names the date.
You got it tattooed on you somewhere?
No, but she died in early December, and at that moment, it was months after this movie came out, months. While I was in my just throes of anger and sorrow and crying, it was awful, it was fucking ugly. I was thinking, I need to go watch The Northman immediately to put this all in perspective. Yeah. Just put this in perspective, because The Northman gives you an idea of what pretty much all of human experience and existence has been up until the very recent times where like we're just so soft. We have everything so easy. And The Northman is just, it shows you how brutal fucking things were.
Hard living.
Very hard living. And
he makes himself a slave so he can take the long route to revenge.
For vengeance. Yeah. So it's got the vengeance in there. It's got the hard living. It's got the uncompromised hero where I talked about this at the time when I saw it, where like early on in the movie, he's just on the boat rowing with the rest of the Vikings because he's on a mission, and a couple of his brethren do something fucking awful to a couple innocent fisher, like a fishing couple. Like a guy just hits them with arrows and laughs as this poor little couple just dies, and he doesn't even look. He doesn't even look up. And I'm like, wow, they still want us to care about this guy when he's so indifferent to that. Mm-hmm. And it still works. It works. It's uncompromising, and it is just a great fucking look at what once was.
Yeah, that was my number one.
What was your number one? The Northman?
I've loved everything Eggers has done. I love his magical realism, but in the most literal sense of what if myth was real.
Yeah.
And how he so meticulously researches that and then brings it to life.
You love The Lighthouse?
I love The Lighthouse.
This is everything that I wanted the Green Knight to be. Mm. I didn't expect the Green Knight to be nearly as violent as this, but I was hoping to bring out the same and I got to watch this the second time too, and it lived up in my head.
I need to rewatch. It was so brutal and sinister, and I just love it. Just the art design he does, like when he's fighting that mythical creature that's that big skeleton guy.
Yeah, it's so good. It's so good all along the way, right?
Every single brutal, and the landscapes, the way it's shot, it's just an epic. And just Willem Dafoe, just the weird characters he'll get in there. Like Willem Dafoe's bizarre. Him as the little shaman or whatever in there. It's just it was great.
And what's this fuck in the beginning? I'm drawing a blank. Black phone.
Ethan Hawke.
Ethan Hawke. Thank you.
It's great. Anya Taylor-Joy is great.
What it's known as.
And Nicole Kidman is
fantastic. It was so bizarre watching her introduce me and thank me for coming to her abandoned theater, like Kimmel says, and then she was this character, which is very,
the
very
sports scene is great, where they're playing whatever that ancient Viking game.
Very,
the ball
very
and the stick.
The curling. It's like curling. I think that's what hurling.
Hurling.
It's an Irish. Like Irish. Actually, it's like field hockey essentially.
Yeah.
And.
But with possible death.
With possible death, yeah. Like if I can kill you and score, I will. And yeah, so good.
Loved it.
Loved that movie. And
it's only number 6.
It's what I think it's what George Lucas was imagining maybe in his brain for the end of Revenge of the Sith.
Okay.
I think that's what he was going after, and it was achieved.
On the soundtrack. Oh, the score is great.
So that's my number 6.
All right. Now let's go to your real top 5.
And number 5 is Everything Everywhere All at Once. There you go. I don't have to spend a whole lot more time.
Go ahead.
Speaking about that, I think everyone's familiar. When we first saw this, when did it come out? Like March or something?
This was on my list for the movies of the year so far.
Why did Jamie Lee Curtis win an award for that?
Well, she was great.
She was great.
An Oscar worthy for that?
Well, what are the Oscars? I mean, could they be more, less? It's just it's a popularity contest. It's a lot of the time it's a lifetime achievement.
That's what that felt like in this case.
Well, it's funny because the top 3 contenders by the end, according to the odds, were her, Carrie Condon, who was only in the movie a little bit, Banshees of Inisherin.
I enjoyed her more in Banshees.
She was very, very good. And then Angela Bassett, who, I don't know, was that Oscar worthy?
I don't think it was Cate Blanchett.
No, supporting actress.
Supporting. I thought she got nominated just for that one scene.
Sure.
Spoilers.
Dramatically.
But her one big dramatic scene. But I still think Carrie deserved it for Banshees more.
Oh, okay.
I don't know. I wasn't blown away by what she was doing.
At the end, but what are you going to do? Number 1 for me, you alluded to it. Everything Everywhere All at Once is my favorite movie of the year from March of 2022.
Wait, that's your number 1?
That's number 1.
What happened? We got skipped over because I still have 4 movies.
Yeah, I don't know how that happened.
Bryan.
I went the YouTube.
Obviously, we skipped over.
Oh, did you go straight to commercial after RRR?
Yeah.
Oh, shoot. Well, do a couple more movies then.
You couldn't wait. You couldn't wait to do the. Well, I mean, I think everyone who's listening closely knew that Everything Everywhere All at Once was going to be your number 1.
For reasons mentioned many times in the show, original breath of fresh air, just something new and daring, and paid off. Won Best Picture, and it's won the Vaulties.
I was talking with Andrew Potts because he signed us Akira, which we just watched, Akira. And it's been long in the works to make a live action of that movie.
Sure.
And we were kind of musing about like who could make that, and the Daniels would fucking crush
really
making. Yeah. Can you imagine like trying to connect? Who knows what they're gonna actually. Avery, will you look up and see what they're slated? Because they can do whatever they want now, and they're capable of a lot. For them to go from Swiss Army man to everything, they've proven that they can do almost anything visually, right? So,
Sure.
and with story and character. So
Yeah, this had all of it.
So I'm interested to see what they do next. So anything you want to say special about Everything Everywhere All at Once?
7 Oscars, the rare Oscar sweep. Fun fact, I don't know if you know, A24 was responsible for all 4 acting wins this year. How about that?
I saw a lot of A24, and some of it was good, some of it was not so.
It's pretty typical.
They're going to direct and executive produce a new half-hour comedy, Mason, for Showtime.
All right.
Didn't see
Produced by
that guy.
A24.
The one, Daniel, alluded to his concern with not being able to keep up with current events with motion pictures because they take so long to produce. So perhaps he wants to be topical.
It looks
They
like,
definitely got a South Park vibe to them.
but in August they signed a exclusive deal with Universal. So
Sweet.
I'm supposed to just do 4 now? What the fuck,
I know.
Bryan?
I'm sorry about that. I think you should have gone 2 more after I went RRR.
Yeah, but you were so excited to Puss in Boots it.
No, we went to Amazon after that.
No, and then we came back, and you were just like, Puss in Boots.
True.
Yeah, everything.
But I went first.
Everything Everywhere All at Once was the first time in many years where as I'm watching, I'm like, this is a future, like an instant classic film. Like it's an instant, like as you're watching it, whether you like it or not, or it's really working for you or not, you realize that like this is a movie that people will be talking about. Kind of like The Matrix. When I was first,
Sure.
everyone's watching The Matrix
Halfway
for 20
through,
minutes.
you're
You're
like,
like,
oh,
holy
this is
shit.
something special.
This is something, well, not even, yeah. All right,
Or at some point in the middle.
number four for me is Tar. It is probably the most
Really?
the best executed film I saw, the closest thing to a masterpiece that I saw all year.
Really?
Oh yeah, absolutely. I mean, this movie is.
We haven't seen Puss in Boots.
Tar is one of the greatest character studies I've ever seen, and masterful filmmaking. It's the closest thing to a Kubrick movie I've seen since Kubrick, well, with the possible exception of some of the stuff that
AI.
you love to piss me off.
I don't know if that would upset you.
Steve McQueen, the stuff that he did, and I think as far as camera goes, Tar is the closest thing I've seen to Kubrick, and I just absolutely love this movie. Get chills watching clips of it. Really love it. If you have not seen it, it's challenge at times, but fuck, it pays off.
it went down smooth for me.
Did
I
it
don't
go
know
smooth?
I don't know why. I don't know if it's because I love Blanchett or I bought it in immediately.
Good.
It's
'cause-
This is my number
Undeniably-
2. I really enjoyed it.
and I would love to be able to watch it again because I know that I missed some stuff and some
Yeah.
stuff wasn't quite connecting, but I'm sure that it did because it's one of those movies where you just kind of like a Todd Haynes film, like everything is intentional. Like
You know
there's
you're in good hands.
You're in good hands, exactly. Like you feel that with this right off the bat. Like Todd Field is doing every single thing is thought out and intentional.
The audience is in good hands again.
And then number 3 is a bit of a for me. What am I doing? What am I doing with the Vaulties doing all 4 of them? Number 3 is Babylon. I know that I'm somewhat it's divisive. I get that.
I'm on a limb on that one.
However, the
On an
stuff
island.
that have you seen Babylon yet, Avery?
I need to. It's now, I believe now it is streaming on Paramount. It just came out, or it's about to.
It's kind of surprising to me that the critics hate this as much as they do, because if you really love the history of motion pictures and the history of movies and where we
Yeah, it's
began and
streaming
where
now.
we are now, this is from everything that I read and everything that I've heard, this is a very accurate portrayal of what the early days were like, and really the look at the transition. The main thing the main takeaway here is the transition from silence to sound. It's just I didn't learn that stuff in school, and I never saw it come to life like in this movie, and it was fucking hilarious. And there were some scenes in there that were too much, definitely gratuitous. The elephant pooping went on a little bit long, and the vomiting I really did not need. I did not need the snake bite scene. You excise those from the movie, you still have a really, really great movie here that shows you things, brings things to life that I had read about or never heard about, and never. The fact that Chazelle was showing that the silent films didn't need to be separated at all or have walls even. Like they were making classics right next to each other with like nothing but sheets because there was no sound. So who fucking cares?
Yeah.
So you have like these classic films being shot right next to each other out in an open field. You had full orchestras out there to pump up the extras. Extras were getting killed. Pretty much everything you see in this movie, there was some kind of account of it actually happening. And that it brought like this old yesteryear of Hollywood completely alive. The great performances and the fever pitch of it. When she was first becoming a star, how could you not just like be rocking in your seat watching
There were
that?
things about this that I liked, and I admire your passion for this movie, and I wish I liked it half as much as you.
I fucking love it. Yeah, I kind of like the same thing with me. Like I wish that I could like the motivation and the ending of the Menu as much as you did, and
so
Avery
good.
did. Yeah.
So good.
Number 2 for me. I can't believe it.
Come on, power through, buddy.
RRR. It's already
Yes,
been,
let's talk about it.
Holy shit. Let's talk about R. You take it away because I'm talking too much.
Oh, fuck. I lost
Fucking
my voice.
RRR. First time we heard about this, embarrassing. But it's the
Was
listeners.
it
You guys.
assigned? Was it assigned to us?
No, the listeners had it on their list. We were doing top 5 movies of the summer so
that's
far, and the
right.
listeners had it on their list.
And we're like, what is that?
What the fuck is this RRR? Like I had not heard of it. It was just another Netflix movie that they, had in the feed. And they're like, no, the listeners like, you guys have to like take a look. And we did, and holy shit.
Streaming on Netflix, 92% of Rotten Tomatoes. Won the Oscar for Best Song. Brought the house down with the performance, right? For Natu Natu.
It's a great scene, but I mean, that's maybe the 4th or 5th best scene for my money.
And even
in the
then,
movie.
what they did at the Oscars is 1% as good as what's
Yeah.
in the movie. Because I was watching with friends and they went, "That was amazing." I went, "That is horseshit."
I was
compared to
watching
the actual movie.
with Brian's wife, and she was like seeing it and hearing it for the first time, and I'm like, "This is like the movie," but it's like. And then they showed the clip when they actually won. They showed. I'm like, "This is what it really looked like. What it was." Yeah,
It was great. Yeah, without the actors, they're understandable though. I can't expect the actors to pull off the stage performance like the professional dancers did. It was a spectacle.
what a story! It's just it's instant
And it was,
classic.
and
Instant
it
classic.
was fast and loose with the facts, but who cares? It was fun.
They told a story they wanted to tell, but they used like 2 real life characters from their history, and they put them in the same timeline, working together,
It'd be
which they
like
never even
like
met.
if Lincoln and Washington, took
Would
on
get together,
the
to
Nazis.
take on exactly. Oh, someone should get Michael
actually
Bay
pretty-
should get on that right away.
That would be good.
Yeah,
Pretty good pitch right there.
The villain was excellent too. He was so uncompromising and just evil, and he just
The British guy.
he really just
I
leaned
thought he was
into it.
actually sympathetic.
No,
I found him.
he was the hero in Brian's world.
Yeah. Hey, I was rooting for him the whole time.
Yeah, it wasn't. That's not the message. I don't think. I think you
I
misconstrued some
may
things.
have missed
oh,
it.
he was great.
It could have been cultural misunderstanding.
Yeah, I think it probably
Yeah.
was. God, you knew you weren't
opening
sure what
scene
you were
was-
watching. Like when the opening
The opening is fantastic.
scene where they capture the girl.
No, the opening scene where the guy gets into the fortress.
That's where you realize. So yeah, the opening scene was like, all right, this is fucking melodrama. This is over stylized. Like this is like DC Comics over stylized, right? I was thinking, I
don't
can't
remember-
watch
I
this
don't
for
even
3.5
remember it. I don't
hours. Like
remember
it was where there was a lot of slow motion ramping, up and down. It
And they're in
felt
the
like
forest, and there's a lot of costumes and blood,
Slow motion
immediately,
bullets.
slow motion,
Yeah.
and gold everywhere. And
And I was like, all right,
Yeah.
I don't know if I can do this for 3 hours. Because it's like 3.5 hours or something crazy, right? And then the scene comes where it's an impossible feat. It's like, how do you even map that out? Where there's one guy in the middle of the tiny little fortress. There's maybe 20 other army, like his military
Soldiers,
guys,
yeah.
and a guy who happens to be wearing red in a sea of thousands of very angry protesters, serfs, right? Peasants are surrounding the crown's little tiny
locals,
foothold.
yeah.
Yeah, locals. So there's 1,000 of them, maybe 20 of the
soldiers.
and somebody one of the guys throws something. He's wearing red, and the white guy says, "Get that man, arrest him!" And everyone's like, "How the fuck are we gonna arrest that guy? There's 20 of us. There's thousands of them." And the one dude does
The guy
it.
does it, pulls it off.
That's where you're like, "Holy shit! I've never seen anything like this." Other than Marvel movies and modern day comic book movies, but this what they did on the screen to show how the actual action was taking place and possibly making sense. Like you always knew where everything was.
It kind of reminded me of 300 in that respect, where it was just madcap action, but everything made sense, and you're able to follow it, and it was awesome.
Yeah. It's like what everything Zack Snyder and Michael Bay get credit for doing, but have never approached, right?
Except for 300.
the middle scene, which is I've seen it 3 times.
with the animals?
With the animals.
Oh, okay.
I cry. I don't even know why I'm crying, but I'm watching. I'm just fucking crying watching it because I love it so much.
You love animals.
No, because the animals don't fare so well at times. But the rescue scene and with the bridge, I showed that to Atticus because he can watch that one. It's not too violent, and we watched that together 3 or 4 times. This movie just has one scene.
Yeah, the bridge. I forgot.
The bridge is so good, and the story.
Yeah.
That's where that's like 45 minutes into the movie, and that's where we get the title card.
Insane.
It's just a movie like I'd never seen before. I'd never seen a movie like that before. Oh, love that RR. Love it.
Well, now I know your number 1 is. Can I predict?
Puss in Boots.
All right, number 1 for me is a movie that I was hesitant to watch. I didn't want to watch it for the longest time. I was told that I should.
Maybe this Puss in Boots.
I was told that I was going to enjoy it.
Everything's adding up so far.
Because I love making movies so much, and I love the idea of movies, and coming from a place where like the Fable fucks. I absolutely love.
In retrospect, I should have guessed it.
Because movies are like dreams.
Movies are like
and
dreams.
This is a celebration of movies.
Movies and monkeys.
No, Dinner in America is an outlier for sure. It is not going to be on many people's number 1. It shouldn't be on my number 1, but it's the best movie. It's my favorite movie. It's my favorite movie. So I'm giving you shit for like the most enjoyable movies. I feel like it's a shitty way to go about it. Dinner in America, there's better made movies for sure, but Dinner in America, once in 10 years, maybe a movie comes along and speaks directly to me.
All right. Fair.
Dinner in America spoke directly to me from almost the get-go. It took me like 8 minutes to get into it, and then I'm like, holy shit, this is one of my favorite movies of all time.
Wow.
All time.
Big time.
Not since A Ghost Story have I been so...
Not since The Fablemans.
Not since A Ghost Story. Like, it's been since A Ghost Story has a movie spoken to me like Dinner in America. If you...
Wait, I'll put you on the spot. Ghost Story or Dinner in America?
Ghost Story.
Okay.
Yeah.
That wasn't that hard for you.
No. But I love Dinner in America.
But you haven't seen
so
either one on
much.
the big screen.
Dinner in America, I mean, if I'm going with your rules, Dinner in America.
But you haven't seen either one on the big screen. Right? I didn't mean to wound you.
It hurts.
Oh, I'm sorry. That wasn't meant to be a dig.
I need to sponsor a double feature.
Seriously.
Oh my god.
Yeah, I wonder if it's still only $200 to rent out a theater.
Yeah, but you got to get the rights.
Yeah, they limit you.
I already dissed David Lowery earlier, saying Northman is everything that the Green Knight wanted to be. Same director as A Ghost Story did the Green Knight.
Thank you.
Yeah, Dinner in America is it's just got that punk rock ethos, and it's just hilarious and campy and well acted, and it's the best parts of Buffalo 66. It's got a Back to the Future wink in there.
I found it more accessible than Buffalo 66.
Napoleon Dynamite. It's an R-rated Napoleon Dynamite, and I just absolutely loved his character all the way. Well, at the beginning, he's a little bit too much punk rock, but then I ended up falling in love with him. I fell in love with her absolutely as well. And it's just, it's great. Absolutely love.
All right. I want to hear Avery's top 5 on it. Well, I feel like we heard most of it, but give us your 5 to 1.
Yes, so my 5 to 1.
You should have had this ready.
I have it ready. It's right here.
Am I terrible for not talking about that? I mean, I've talked about it all fucking year, right?
Yeah, there was no doubt what it was.
Is there any reason? Should I set it up a little bit more? I feel like I should.
My number 5. I was surprised this didn't get talked about at all with production design.
Yes, sir.
That it wasn't mentioned at all at the Oscars. Was the Batman. I absolutely loved it.
Yeah, it is kind of weird.
Blown away by. I was surprised that it wasn't nominated for anything at all.
Yet the Joker like wins everything.
Yeah, I thought that was odd. I really enjoyed that movie. I know people didn't. I like the throwback to Detective Batman.
Yeah,
I know
maybe
that
people were
didn't
just
quite
tired
work.
of Sherlock Holmes.
I know that didn't quite work for a lot of people. I really enjoyed it. Paul Dano I thought he was phenomenal as the Riddler.
Dano.
I think he said Dano because he said
did.
it at the.
He did.
the I love the production design. I love the inclusion of Nirvana. I love the soundtrack. I loved Colin Farrell was amazing.
He was great.
He was the Penguin. I was surprised they did get one nod for that. No, they didn't.
No, they showed a clip of it.
They showed a clip of it, but that wasn't even up for.
It was makeup. It was
Was it
hairstyle
up for
and
makeup?
Yeah. Because they showed them putting on the
Yeah, it
jowls.
was up for makeup for sure.
Okay, that was phenomenal. I really, really enjoyed The Batman, and I think it should have gotten more love. Number 4 for me was Top Gun, another one that was just
Really?
phenomenal in theaters. That in IMAX
fun
was
movie.
just
Yeah, is that not on your top 5?
It's not fun.
yeah.
enough.
No Time to Die was, but Top Gun wasn't.
That was last year. How dare you?
He saw Puss in Boots this year and knocked it off the
Dude.
list.
Have you seen Puss in Boots, Avery?
Yet to.
Oh, you're a motherfucker.
I've yet to. Love Top Gun. Just what a thrill ride. Loved it. Number 3 for me was Barbarian. It is for the 3 months since I've seen it. I've thought about it every single night before I've gone to bed and been afraid.
Every night.
Every
Dude,
single
you
night.
should have come to the estate
Every
sale that I
single
took
night.
Tyler tight, and I went to the estate sale like about a month ago now. It was Barbarian. It was a normal house up top, and then you go downstairs, and you're like, oh, there's a little basement, and the basement just kept going and going. And I said Barbarian out loud. There was like 20 people downstairs, and like 8 of them are like, oh my god, it's totally Barbarian.
Yeah.
We were in like it was so Barbarian.
Just the way it was done. I loved their take on the Me Too movement,
start
and
measuring?
just I feel like the way they lampooned men was fair and very interesting and cutting. I really enjoyed it. I know the Act 3 was kind of didn't work quite as well for you.
As time goes by, like I forgive Act 3, and I have more like strong memories of the movie as a whole, especially with the setup of the house and whatnot.
That first half
Will live with me forever.
That first half is one of the scariest things I've ever seen in my entire life. Just how claustrophobic it is.
And it's like, why are you going down
And you
there?
just can't escape. It just
30 years from now, people will be like, like renting houses and be like, "You guys ever seen Barbarian?" It's one of those.
Yeah.
it's gonna
It'll be a cultural
continue.
reference.
It was some of the funniest laughs too. With just Justin Long and it was so good, so good.
Wait, he's in that?
No, he's not. He's in the sequel. Number 2 for me was Tar. As was
smart
mentioned, I love.
And we know
love
what your
Tar.
number 1 is.
And number 1 was The Northman.
Well, he went strong with those top
The
two.
Northman.
I'll watch anything that Eggers does. I don't care.
You love saying the North Man.
I do.
The North
man from
Man.
the North.
All right,
Loved
good.
Loved it.
Let's talk about enjoyable again because
All of those were enjoyable to me.
Yeah, it's super.
Fun.
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 Parts of Tar were fun to
Inner
me.
America is so fun.
There you go.
How fun
there
is
you go.
it?
I'm not saying can't have fun movies.
Northman was fun to me.
What's the listener top 5?
The butchering. Oh, when he's climbing up that wall with the axes.
Which one is it?
The Northman.
Oh, the Northman. Yeah,
Fun.
it's a lot of fun things. All of my movies are fun.
The man is
All of Avery's movies.
He's butchered and nailed to the cabin. He goes, "Their God. He is nailed to a wooden tree."
That reminded me of Nazi swastika kitty from
it was
Kicking the
great.
Hornet's Nest, or the old.
It was great.
Girl with that dragon tattoo over there. Remember?
Yeah. Nazi kitty.
The
Swastika.
listeners
Swastika.
pulled an Anderson. They did the top 10. This is compiled by the Mitch Burns.
Thank you, Mitch.
Speaking of which, I was on his podcast, The Film Vaulters.
All
The most
right.
recent episode, we counted down top 5 most absurd
Nice.
action scenes.
I got to listen to that, guys. I'm
Fun
behind
episode.
on life. So
Fun episode.
I will. I just also get uncomfortable
Fun.
hearing anyone talk.
Fun. So it would have made Brian's list. Number 10 for the listeners is After Sun.
Really?
Yeah,
That is
it's
surprising.
top 15 for me for sure.
Number 9 is Babylon.
Wow.
Baby Lawn.
Baby's Lawn.
Yeah.
Number 8 is a tie between Mad God and Prey. I did
please have
enjoy
Puss in Boots
Prey.
on there.
Is that-
Prey
is
was
that-
fun, Brian. Would that have made the top 10 for you?
Prey actually was an also ran. I enjoyed Prey.
Prey was a
lot.
good time.
You haven't seen Mad God, right?
I've not.
That might have made your most fun list.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, shit.
4-way tie for number 7.
Not true.
Marcel the Shell, Glass Onion, Nope, and The Northman.
How are there's
The Northman.
They're essentially just okay. A lot of ties there.
6, another tie, Avatar and Batman.
Oh, come on, guys. You just lost all credibility.
Number 5 is The Menu.
Wait, how is Avatar not on your list, Avery?
You know what?
Not fun enough.
Almost the minute I left the theater, I woke up the next morning and it all
Went away?
Like
yeah.
so much water.
I loved the experience.
Oh, you were in here a couple
glad
days
I
later
did.
just defending
Okay,
it and talking
it
about
was
how great it was.
But it doesn't.
It doesn't stick.
It's like a roller coaster ride, right?
Yeah.
How long are you going to talk about the best roller coaster, right? How could you?
Yeah.
Because then it fades, and you go, I don't remember what it was like to ride it, but
Yeah.
it was fun. I still recommend seeing it in IMAX once the 3, 4, and 5 come out. I'll get all excited once again.
Did he really boycott the Academy Awards? I didn't read
Supposedly
up
he
on
was hosting an Oscar party for the cast and crew.
that. Really?
Supposedly.
Why weren't the casting
God,
crews
he's so in his
there?
own little world. He's almost like Howard Stern. Like nothing else really matters except for my little world that I created here.
That seems so weird. Number 5 is The Menu. Number 4, RRR.
Nice.
Number 3 is the Banshees of Inisherin. Number 2, Top
15.
Gun Maverick.
No way, you guys. Everything Everywhere All at Once and Top Gun are the
Yeah,
top
number
2
one.
movies.
Oh,
of-
Puss in
And-
Boots.
Really? It's not gonna
And
be Puss.
number 1, The Fablemans. No.
Yes, makes sense.
Everything Everywhere All at Once.
There you go.
Top Gun fucking ruled. Top Gun was the shit.
Top Gun was pretty fun.
It was good. It was just so silly. It was so absurd.
But it was done in that style.
I
It was
can't say
deliberate.
that with Dinner in America being my number 1, which was it's just so silly, but it's so heartfelt.
But I think Top Gun knew what it was. It felt like it knew that it
Here's
was
why
being absurd.
I hate Top Gun, and this is me going off.
Go on.
I was talking about how there wasn't a whole lot of propaganda, and I was actually kind of surprised that they were making the United States inferior almost. And a listener who's more plugged in than I am pointed out this fact that it was all bullshit. The whole they have Mach 6s and we have Mach 5s is bullshit. But it gets rabble-rousters watching this shit, which probably happened, going to their local legislators saying, how could this be?
Why
we
do
need
we
more
not
money
have
to
the
be
best?"
pumped into our military. And it's
Oh,
effective.
for sure.
And it's effective. So fuck that movie. Fuck propagandizing art. And I'm sorry.
Oh, they were going hard
Don't
with the
apologize.
Top Gun, like real life Top Gun ads on Reddit. The entire 3 months after that came out, they were hitting that hard.
Did you see the have you seen the Army ad that Jonathan Majors?
Oh my God!
What's going on with that?
I don't know if it's the one with Jonathan Majors, but the one of how can they rule out our generation before we've left the finish line? We're the ones who are going to fix
I haven't seen
everything.
that.
The one that I saw, I only saw it
no.
once. It goes on for a full minute too, and it's Majors, who I love, but he's going through the full history of the Army, of the American Army.
I haven't seen that.
And he's just walking alongside revolutionary army men and talking about how great the country is and how great these army guys are and stuff. And I'm just like, are they gonna touch upon the slavery
The fact
aspect
that
of this
He
country?
wouldn't have been allowed to fight.
And they don't. And he brings us all the way up to pretty much Top Gun, just talking about how you should join. And I'm like, oh no, why?
Problematic.
It is. Damn.
Parts of that sounded pretty good though. I liked him walking by this revolutionary.
Put it on while
soldier.
we pack up.
Yeah,
and you
I'd
guys
like to
can
see
watch
that.
it.
I would like to hear some gambling results.
Some gambling.
Wait, what about Also Rans? Because there's so many movies that were fucking great, Brian. Let me just
This is the one time to be indulgent.
Fire of Love just missed the list, and that would have been my only documentary on my list, and it's the best documentary I saw last year, I guess. Fire of Love. I think you'll probably agree with me there. Fire of Love.
I liked a couple more than that, but what are the best?
Speak No Evil. Fantastic movie. So uncomfortable. So much fun for me. Apparently not fun enough for you, but Speak No Evil.
Wait, which one was that? I remember seeing it. But
It's the couples that get together.
It's a foreign film.
Yes. It's
Yeah. And they end up naked.
a movie called Banshees of Inisherin. The Whale. Athena. Just something to behold as far as filmmaking goes, and the balls that it takes to do a oneer like that involving all the shit that could kill people. After Sun, After Yang, beautiful movie. A lot of years that would have been on my top 10. Soft and Quiet, which I just brought up with the swastika pie. It's another oneer. Insane movie. Soft and Quiet. If you have not seen Soft and Quiet, and it becomes available. Lux Eterna, which completely got lost in the mix, but that's the Gaspar Noé film that we watched. Which was just
the filmmaking.
fucking insane with all the split screen. It was. Emily the Criminal is good. Bros, I absolutely loved Bros, and I wish that it was there was more room on the top 10. Bros is a fantastic rom-com that was hilarious all the way through, and then To Leslie, which I have not yet had a chance to discuss. I'll be talking about that next week. A little recency bias there, but a really, really good movie.
I'm glad you mentioned Emily the Criminal. I enjoyed that very much and wish I would have found room for it on the top 5.
Tony Hawk, Until the Wheels Come Off is my final. Also ran.
Did you mention Triangle of Sadness?
I did not, because I loved the opening of that, and then the wheels kind of came off.
That's a movie that stuck with me more than I thought it would.
The scat in the middle threw me, but I loved.
Yeah, that's not my favorite.
The beginning and the end, but the scat in the middle
the beginning
really
and the end are good. It's not even because of the scat. It's just I kind of got bored on that boat, and I was like, I think maybe I saw it coming because of the trailers, but watching rich people slob around and shit should have been more fun, and it wasn't for me.
Yeah, it was. Yeah,
It was just a little too on the nose with like, we're all equals. It's like, it wasn't uncomfortable enough, and it was.
For me,
it wasn't White Lotus-y enough for me.
Yeah, I think maybe because of White Lotus. Maybe kind of like a few years ago.
For me, it was way more than White Lotus.
Really?
White Lotus kind of like softballed it.
I don't think so.
What?
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, they made you like the characters a little bit more, maybe, and I think that made it more impactful because I actually kind of cared about some of them. I'm talking about season 1. I didn't see the season 2, but
Okay. I'm talking about season 2.
I kind of empathized with and liked like Steve Zahn's character, and I liked
you
some
also
of them,
knew
and I
that
felt guilty for liking them because they were such douchebags.
But you also knew the staff better too.
Yeah,
so
you
you
got
got
to know everybody
satisfaction
better.
of them. I think that's part of it. I didn't care about the staff in Triangle of Sadness as much, so I didn't.
They didn't spend enough time because they had that entire first act that took forever. That was his own movie.
So then the
And
comeuppance to me is irrelevant almost because
totally
I didn't
right.
see them being shitty to characters I liked.
If they spent a lot of time where we got to know both sides of it, kind of like Gosford Park a little bit, where I could care and empathize with both sides a little bit, but it didn't do that because it spent so much time in that first act, which was fucking phenomenal.
Yeah.
And then the second act, and then the third act was really good, but it was like Survivor real time, right? With the have and the have-nots. They should do that for Survivor. By
I
the way.
went back and pulled my top 5.
That would be good.
That would be
Very
good.
topical.
They should do red and blue, and they should do have and have-nots.
Diverging into see if you volunteer. I went back and pulled my top 5 of the year so far from August, and it was The Batman Accepted, but I think it was my favorite documentary of the year. The one about the
It
school.
is very good because of the twist.
Yeah. Turning Red and The Outfit. The Outfit was an underrated movie. I enjoyed The Outfit.
I love Beavis and Butthead, the cartoon. It was my favorite summer movie, but it didn't, make my list there. Breaking was very good as well. Not many people saw that. Not enough people saw that. Miss Harris Goes to Paris is a forgotten, unseen film. Documentary, Girl in the Picture. Great. A lot of years that probably would have cracked the top 10. Brian and Charles is a movie we'll continue to talk about.
We've talked about that more than almost any other movie this year.
Mad God's already been talked about. I like the old Thor. Black Panther had some things. Duel was very interesting. And, inventive, yes. There's some really deep draft.
Did you not mention Glass Onion?
I didn't.
Oh, I enjoyed
love
Glass Onion. That was fun.
And I didn't hear the whale come out of your mouth.
The Whales was on my initial
There you
also
go.
rans. Mad God, of course, is just.
You're back to Mad God?
It's the fact that it took so long and it's so uncomfortable to watch, and it's just that he made this. It's akin to Eraserhead, a little bit. It really is. Like,
oh, you're about to sell me, and then now I'm out.
Did I say The Gray Man? Took a lot of shit for liking The Gray Man.
No, you did not say The Gray
Did you
Man.
miss your fingers, Lloyd?
And 3,000 Years of Longing. That's a movie that 8 years ago would have been everyone's favorite movie of the year. But look, we've really come a long way. But 3,000 Years of Longing. You ever see that one?
I did not.
Idris Elba.
You're not missing much.
I do love Idris, but
There's some great stuff in there.
There is. There
There
actually
really
is
is some
some
great
good
stuff in there.
All right.
All those
Gambler?
movies you could do way worse. You could, if you were to watch all of those movies, you'd really,
Yeah.
for the most part.
You'd have a good night.
I mean, it'd be a long.
I thought you meant any
month.
one of the movies.
all right.
Please.
Yeah.
So
How'd we do?
we've got the Oscar ballot. Anderson got 18 correct.
18 out of 23.
Wait,
18 and 5.
18 out of 23 correct.
Okay.
Wait, what?
Did
you get more than that?
We got 5 wrong.
That's right, 5 wrong. Yeah. Got it right here.
Brian
Well, shit, we might have got the same score.
got 18 out of 23
no.
correct, resulting in a tie.
No.
Means,
So I think the tiebreaker, because I don't think we were supposed to have gambled last week,
No.
but we did.
no, we got a tiebreaker. We had
'Cause we did
had
Scream.
We had a real life tiebreaker with it,
Oh, what was the tiebreaker?
which was runtime.
Of the Oscars.
Yeah.
Oh,
I went low. He went high.
Yeah.
Actually, we were 5 minutes apart from each other, but Anderson went higher than me.
Oh, was that
so-
it?
Yeah, it was 312. You're 317.
It was only 3.5 hours, 3:20. Really?
You won. Good for you. You
I'm
won
the
a
crusher.
stupid technicality.
well, we
Who
also
won-
gambled
who
on
won
Scream,
the-
so I don't know what we do with that.
I mean, if we're going for the month, then we might as well, include it.
All right.
And just for like the sake of long term.
Yeah.
All right. For Scream 6, Anderson guessed 73, Brian 64, So you already know with 231 reviews, actual Rotten Tomatoes score is
77.
77.
Oh, you son of a bitch.
making Anderson the winner.
Crushing it. I'm crushing it.
Great
All right,
week
so
for you. Great week.
pretty okay week, I guess.
Do we have a list?
I love the 10 movies that I listed though. It's a strong fucking year. I just all the movies we see, a lot of the movies, you're sitting there going like watching the clock, going like, you know what? And then at the end of the year, as it were like mid-March here, we get to actually the fruits of the labor, right?
Yeah, kind of.
Take a look and revel in like the great experiences
That's right.
that we had watching these movies.
It's like spending a long time making a complicated dish, a fucking gumbo or something. You know what I mean? And then
The
enjoying
mess.
it.
Yeah.
Find it? Well put.
Yeah.
The
Well
mess.
put. Do we have the listener
S'more,
winner?
perhaps.
From
Maybe a s'more.
Yes, we do.
Who's going to reach out to these to the winners?
Anyone
Is that
but me?
you, Brian?
No. Far
Come
from
on,
it.
Brian.
Bryan usually does. I thought.
Have some connections. Come on.
I don't do it.
Why? Why is that? Because you think you're important?
I'm far too important.
Are you socially awkward? What's
I'm
the
socially
problem?
awkward.
All right. The results. Are we doing? We'll do third to first.
All right.
The worst to first.
I don't know. Third place is Devin Miller.
What is this? The Oscar pool? right?
Oscar Poole with 45 points. It is Devin.
'cause they're away.
Devin? We'll go with Devin. Devin Miller. Second place with 46 out of 51 points goes to Chris Morris.
Wow.
And there is a tie at first.
Wouldn't you know
Bitch.
it?
With 47 out of
Oh.
51. They only missed two
Pretty good.
categories. And the two first place winners are Matt Gilbertson and Drew Piper.
Wow.
Who
Congrats,
both
guys.
they both missed production design. And then Drew missed costume and Matt missed score. But other than that, flawless.
Huge.
That's pretty.
Huge.
Flawless victory.
That's pretty impressive.
Well done, you guys.
And then
So
last year's winner, if you remember, was Casey McKinney, and I think Casey McKinney only
Yes.
missed one, and
Yeah.
it was animated shorts. So he had us do top 5 animated shorts, which was fun. That was a good top 5.
Good topic. So these two will each be signing us a top 5.
Yes, they will be, which is a pricey gift, really. If you
Serious.
if you
I'm
look
giving
at it.
2 of them away.
So yes, go ahead and shoot us an email. Contact tfv@gmail.com. Just do subject line I fucking won. Do
Yeah,
that.
I fucking won, and then let us know the topics. I don't know how well versed you are in our 20-year legacy, but come up with the topic that you would like us to do in your honor as the winner, and we will decide if it's worthy of the program.
Indeed.
There we go.
Great job, everyone. So all we got to do is gamble this week and we're done.
Yes.
Put another Vaulties to bed.
Gambling on what I think is it's probably going to be number one Vaulties for all three of us next year. Shazam! Fury of the Gods.
Ooh,
It actually looks
Tess is
decent.
excited.
And I like that first Shazam quite a
Tess is into it.
bit. Is she?
Because there's girls in the cast.
What? Is she that?
Then she
Sims?
probably likes a lot of movies. Then
I
That's
thought,
true.
I thought it was the bubble.
Girl superheroes. That's
ah,
All right.
All right, I got my number.
All right. I got number 2.
It's very similar to last week for me. So if you have
Hold
any
on. Let
memory,
me
listen.
back up. Let me back up.
I don't think you listen to what my. Oh wait, you might though.
Okay. I got a number.
Oh no! Did you just change your number?
No. Maybe. Yes.
What? On 3.
Let's go.
1,
Wait. Okay.
2, 73.
I was
What'd
almost
you-
gonna-
what'd you guess, 70?
I was almost going to do 73. I thought you were going to change at the last minute.
you got 70.
70.
I did
70. As it stands, there are no reviews.
Which is kind of what's
kinda
going
going
on?
that way
Why
these
are they
days.
all like deciding to embargo these fuckers?
Did you not see the trailer with Eminem in it?
I didn't see
you
Eminem.
wanted to?
I saw the trailer. The trailer doesn't look bad
with
for what
the
it is.
Eminem song playing, and the
I don't
douche
know
chills
if I-
made you want to levitate out of the theater.
That's my line.
You didn't.
It wasn't
I
that
did not
bad.
see. And what Eminem
I
song?
wanted
What
to
do you?
leave the theater
Oh,
like
with
Rihanna
the,
left the
with-
Super Bowl. Just go right through the ceiling and just not
I did not
come
see
back.
Rihanna's Super Bowl levitation.
Oh my
but
God.
Yeah, I can't tell you how many times I've been in the theater where I'm just levitating above my seat and I'm so uncomfortable. And I'm like, I feel like everyone, I become like all narcissistic. Like people are going to look at me and they're going to hold me responsible for this. Yeah, terrible.
It's Business by Eminem, and they did a remix just for Shazam that they released. Kill me.
You see the first Shazam
Yeah, it was great.
with Shaq? Oh, that's
No.
something different, right?
The one with the original one.
Yeah, it's
with
good.
this-
It's really good,
I
right?
enjoyed it. Yeah,
Fun
there's
movie.
gonna be a flaming
Fun.
pile of shit.
No, it's not. It's gonna be fine.
No, it's not.
Really?
No,
I already got my ticket.
Thank God,
I'm very excited.
Oh,
thank God I took the under.
it's gonna be bad.
It's the same characters. It's the same thing.
That never
Seems like
goes
they're maybe
wrong.
trying to take themselves a little more too seriously, perhaps. Which is weird. It's like, you guys know what you are. You're like the fun one.
Did you
What are you
not
doing?
see any of the trailers?
I don't know if I have.
Horrible
I think I
jokes in
have.
it.
Really?
Oh,
I don't pay attention to trailers. What are you doing watching trailers? I thought you were with me.
I watch
thought we don't
trailers
watch
for
trailers.
ones that I will never fucking see.
Oh, well, see, you're already preconceived notions.
Well, because I'll watch it and go,
Prejudice.
wow me. So then if it wows me, I'll go, oh, I'll fucking see Shazam
Every
too. That
single
was
trailer,
cool.
all right, maybe like 98% of the trailers that I've seen in my life, at one moment or another during the
wowed
trailer,
you?
I'm thinking like, I got to see this fucker. I swear to God. And that's probably true for most people. I think pretty much every trailer, even like, nah, all right.
Oh my God, look at the timely artwork.
Yeah, they were quick on the
This
draw.
is good. This is Jonathan Oxford. That is excellent.
Quick on the draw.
Anderson, are you my date? Wow, this is timely. This is the
Shazam
timeliest art I
2.
ever had. Barely,
Hey, what was the deal with that? Anyone that, who's on the socials and
I
whatnot?
think she sang a song for Wakanda, whatever that fucking movie was. And, oh shit, was it The Woman King? No, I'm racist.
Well,
Fuck.
they're similar movies in
Very similar.
theme and tone. And
Fuck. It was one of those two.
look, Avery and I are both that.
I'm half black. I'll give you a pass on this one.
Thank
I'll
you.
give you half a pass on this one.
Brian's got
I
white
needed
face
that.
on.
I needed that. Always.
Yeah. What? So, were people cool with it, or were people like calling her out for being
Universally, it
shithead?
was like, what the fuck? Why would you do that? I haven't seen an explanation like, oh, it's germane to my ancestry or something.
And the woman that was behind her, who was out peeking out a few times. I even see Logan's back there too. That's Logan.
I didn't look close enough. I just saw you two. That's great.
Who's the girl?
They're just randos, but yeah, the three people being obscured by your white veil, or if you can call it that, whatever it is. They need to interview that poor woman that was behind her, like on Good Morning America or
Yeah.
something.
What was the Oscars like for you?
Yeah.
Very white. Oscar so white.
Wow. Everything is very, very
Oscar's so white.
veiled in whiteness.
You guys, thanks for being Patreon members. Those of you who are, if you're not, consider it. It's a lot of fun. $5 a month gets you the keys to the vault. Thank you to Jonathan Oxford for the fantastic listener art as always.
And if you want to see that, you can check it out on the on Instagram or on our website.
That's right. Instagram, website, social medias. Well, usually I end up there. AndersonandBryan.com is the website where you can see all of our artwork. Instagram is Anderson and Bryan. TikTok is Anderson and Bryan. The Film Vault on Twitter, Facebook, YouTube is The Film Vault Podcast. Thank you, everyone, for listening. Another great year, Anderson. Hey, cheers to you, buddy. Bottoms up.
Cheers, buddy.
Here we go.
Yeah.
Look at us. Look at us. We did it. Another great year in the books.
I think this is the 15th vault we've done.
We got to do the math, yeah. Don't sleep on next week because the annual awaited, long-awaited Vaulties, the
Vaulties.
worst films we saw, the bottom 5 films of the year, always brings up good memories. I often forget about the bad movies.
Yeah, it's true. Like a lot of the time, it's I have to look it up. Like, what is that? Oh yeah.
Yes,
what is
exactly.
That thing?
Because you recognize the title and then you look at your notes and you're like, oh, that's how I felt.
I also plan on watching Tush and Boots or whatever it's called
please do.
this week. To
Mitch
be able
did
to
a good
Possibly.
typo for the listener also rans. I was on there and he did piss and boots.
Piss and Boots.
Nice.
It's not more
Which
than a
is
typo.
enjoyable.
That seems to be like intentional.
When you're drunk.
Yeah,
it
I'm
was
hoping
enjoyable.
that Piss and Boots is on my my Revolties list next week. I'll be going out of my way to watch that one so it can.
I'll
make my list.
bet lots of guys who've worn boots and gotten really drunk have pissed in their boots.
Yeah, I mean, especially if their
Just
pants are tucked in.
Trickles down the leg, right?
Pants are tucked in. Yeah,
Ends up in the boot.
Yep.
Well, there you go.
great, Brian. Thank you.
Good observation. Thanks, Giovanni. Thanks, Mitch Burns. Thanks, Mike Cole. And thank you, Eric Kath, for all your help. Check us out next week for the Vaulties. Until next time.
We do it for Van Gogh.
You better learn the sound. Shout it at the heavens. Struck it from the record. Fuck it, forget remembrance. Even if it deafens, you better learn the sound.